Hello everyone. This video I want to share about how can we use the multimeter. So I will share about the basic and the fundamental how we use the multimeter. In this multimeter we can measure the AC voltage, and this one is the DC voltage. This one AC and DC voltage, but in the millivolt. This one. And for this one we have three functions. One, we can measure the resistance, and we can also check the connection, the source kit with the sound. Press this button, it will be change the function. So this one will be sound on. So if we check the source kit, it will be sound. And if we press one more time, we measure the diode, check the diode. And this is the capacitor measurement. If we move to here, is the capacitor measurement. Farad. And this one we measure the current in AC and DC current. And this one is smaller current, is for the milliamps, and the final one is the microamps. This button is we can check the light. So if I press in here, so the light is on. If I press again, the light is off. For this, at the bottom we have the COM or the ground. And if we connect this one, it will be measure the voltage, diode, resistance, and the capacitance value. So if we connect the plus side to here, we will measure the amps or current in milliamps or microamps. But if we measure to this by using this point, we can measure the current up to 10 amps, and it have the fuse to protect our multimeter. And for this one, voltage we can measure up to 1000 volt. This is the multimeter test lead or probe lead. And this type of the probe lead we call needle tip probe. And this is the plug test lead. So we connect the plug test lead into our multimeter. So the black one is for COM or ground, and the red one is connect to any other of these for the function that we want to measure. And I show you another probe lead. This is we call the alligator clip test lead for this one, because and we also connect plug test lead into the hole of the multimeter. So we can measure voltage or resistance by using this one. It's more easier than the needle leads. But for example, if we want to measure other thing that this one cannot use, so we will change back to this one. So now I want to show you how we measure the resistor. For example, I have this resistor with the 5 watt 10 ohms resistor, and I also have another resistor with the smaller one, and also this one is smaller. So how can we measure the resistor in the multimeter? To measure the resistance value, the black one is to the COM, connect to the COM, and the red one connect to this part, because in here we can measure the voltage, resistance, diode, and capacitor value. So we turn this one to the ohm value here, and then the red one is for the plus side, and the black one is for the minus side or the ground. But for the resistance, it doesn't care about the position, the pole of anything. The resistance we just connected. For example, this one is the 5 watt 47 ohm. So if I measure in here, it show 47.5 or 0.6 ohm. Is a little bit different, but actually this value is, we can say, is correct. And for another resistance value, this one is the 5 watt 10 ohms. So I measure like this, and the value is the 10.9 ohm or 0.8 ohm. This is correct. 0.7. It actually is have a little different. How about the smaller resistor? For example, this one. Actually, this resistor we can know the resistance value according to the color, or we count, but this one too fast, we can measure by the multimeter like this. So this one is 0.468 kilo ohm. For this function, if we want to check the sound when it's source kit, so for example, if I connect it directly, it's not sound, so we have to press this button and in the resistance measurement, so it will be sound. So if I not connect it, it will be sound like this. So it's have us to check the source kit in the circuit. And next, I want to show you how we can measure the capacitance value. So I have around 3 capacitance value, different capacitance. It's a different value of the capacitance value. For example, this one is the 400 microfarad. So if I measure by the multimeter, it will be the same or not. So the black one is going to the minus part. Minus part is the minus of the capacitor, is this line, and the red one is the plus. So I want to measure the capacitance value. I should move this to here. Oh no. So the value of the 470 microfarad is now 473 microfarad. It's almost same. So I think this measurement is correct. We can say it's okay, it's correct, acceptable. This one. So it is the 1 farad. 1 farad is the big. So I don't think this multimeter can measure the bigger value of the capacitance value. So we test this value. This side is the plus sign, and this is the minus sign. So actually it doesn't show up any value in the multimeter. It means it's the out of the limit range for the measurement capacitance value. So I have another smaller one of the capacitor. This one is the 220 microfarad. So we measure this one. So right now the value is showing the multimeter is 218.8. So this value is correct. We can say it's correct value. So the next thing is I want to show you how we test the diode working or not. So we have to move this one to here because this diode function is in here. And right now here is the measurement, the resistance value. So we press this one and still the resistance with the sound, and we press one more, is going to the diode measurement. So right now we test the diode measurement. This is the plus side and this is the minus side. So it show up some value of the voltage is 0.454 volt. So the diode is one direction is allowed, one direction, another direction is blocked. So right now it have the value. It means the direction have it, the allowed direction. And if I change the direction of the multimeter, it doesn't show up any value. It means our diode is working. And now we measurement the AC voltage. So before we do the measurement of the AC voltage, we should move it to the function of the voltage AC, and then we can measure the point of the AC voltage. As we know, in our house we use the AC voltage. So I turn on it and I measure the point of the AC voltage value in my room. So the value in my room AC voltage is 228.8 volt. So normally we call this value is the RMS value. RMS value phase voltage is 228.8 volt. So now I want to measure the DC voltage. This is the DC voltage function. I have to move it to here, and I have the DC battery. So I can measurement the battery voltage of this one. This is the battery voltage 1.5 volt. 1.5 volt. So I want to measure in the multimeter. This is the minus side and this is the plus side. This is 1.6 DC voltage. So the value is correct. And this is my camera battery. So it shown in here is the 7.4 volt. 7.4 volt. Actually this battery is low right now. So if I measure, the value would be a little lower than 7.4. So in here is the minus and plus I measure. So it shows it's 7.0. So right now because the battery is a little bit low, so that's why it shows the 7.0 volt DC. Actually it's correct, I think. So now we know how to measure the DC voltage. So this one we will learn how to measure the current. So if we want to measure the current, we have to connect COM at the same point, but current we should connect to here because this function is for current. So I connect this one, and right now I use this alligator clips and needle to measure. It's easier for my case. So I use the power bank 5 volt output as the source as the power, and I use this resistor is the 10 ohms. It's the 10 ohms resistance value and for 5 watt resistance. So I will connect this resistance to the output of my power bank to here. And then if we measure current, we should change this one to the current measurement point, and we connect to here. In order to measurement the current, we have to make the current multimeter in series. It's not in parallel as the voltage measurement. So we measure current in series. So this one is going here like this, and I connect the minus one to here. So in order to series, I connect to here. So the current is show 0.457 or 58 amps. This value. It's correctly to the resistance. So output is 5 volt and the resistance is the 10 ohms. So if we calculate according to the Ohm's law, it will be 0.5 DC amps. This one. So this is the current measurement.